Tonight, former Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo arrested in Milwaukee. What we're learning about the charges he's facing. After an Oak Cliff convenience store was targeted by repeat robberies, a nearby church is now answering the call for help.
I hope that those who are responsible are brought to justice.
This new lawsuit filed against a daycare in Frisco, what it alleges, and also new video from that incident.
12 years after her death, the family of Delisa Kelly is making a renewed plea for justice.
It doesn't change. The feeling doesn't go away.
Very hot this weekend, a heat advisory. It's been extended through Saturday. How hot we're going to get and when our next chance of rain is. Coming up.
And a major decision in the murder case of Dallas rapper Mo 3. Why a judge says the alleged gunman and not fellow rapper Yella Beezy will be the first to stand trial.
But we're going to start with that developing story involving Tony Romo. The former Cowboys quarterback was arrested overnight, suspected of driving under the influence in Wisconsin.
Let's get to sports anchor Jonah Javad for the latest on Romo's arrest. What have you learned so far, Jonah?
Yeah, hey, Chris, Izzy. According to police records obtained by ABC, Tony Romo, former quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, arrested Thursday night in Milwaukee on suspicion of OWI, operating while intoxicated. Romo was in Wisconsin this week for a golf tournament, competing in the state amateur championship just northwest of Milwaukee. But hours after his final round, the 46-year-old was stopped on I-43, performed a field sobriety test, and was then taken into custody on suspicion of operating while intoxicated. Romo, who went to high school in the greater Milwaukee area, was booked and released. He has a court date set for September. The Cowboys Pro Bowler turned NFL broadcaster is due back in Texas next week for another golf tournament. Romo is slated to play in the Texas State Open at Cascades Country Club in Tyler. At this moment, Romo is still listed in the field for the event, and we will keep you updated on this as we gather more information.
All right, Jonah, thank you. And now let's go now to a live look over downtown Dallas. North Texas under another heat advisory with feels like temperatures in the triple digits expected through the weekend. Jesse, though, the cloud cover helped today.
It did. We stayed in the low to mid 90s for most of North Texas, and skies are beginning to break up a little bit right now, so it's still hot. 94 degrees at DBU, feels like 100. It's humid. See the clouds that were our saving grace today. Those stuck around for much of the day, which kept us again in the low to mid 90s. And overnight tonight, it'll become partly cloudy, but temperatures now really not bad for this time of the year. This is the hottest time of the year in North Texas, and our normal high is 97. So 95, that's a win for Corsicana. Waxahachie 92, McKinney 93, Fort Worth's at 94, Decatur at 90, but it's still humid, so it still feels like it's in the triple digits. Heat index right around 100 degrees for most of the area. Highs tomorrow, 101. DFW, 102 Sunday, and it gets hotter next week. We have a heat advisory for tomorrow. That's likely going to get extended for the entire weekend. And yes, we're back to higher temperatures around 105, but some relief on the horizon. 14-day forecast here in just a bit.
Tonight, a third lawsuit has been filed against a daycare in Frisco over allegations they mistreated a young child. The family's attorneys just shared surveillance video of what they claim happened in a classroom, and Richard Solomon has the daycare's response.
So this is the teacher, that's our child.
Attorney Russell Button says this is what no parent wants to see.
And puts her in this chair, shoves her in this chair, and is forcing her down.
And earlier this week, he filed the newest lawsuit against the Kids Are Kids Lawler Farm Daycare in Frisco, the third filed so far.
Every person that's come forward has shed more light on what was actually happening behind closed doors.
This is the first lawsuit filed by someone who is both a parent and now former employee of the daycare. The lawsuit claims the daycare employee yanked the 3-year-old girl by the arm, threw the child in the chair, and yelled at her when she went to the teacher because her pencil was too sharp. And Button says the video backs it up.
This daycare was a systematic failure. Kids were being mistreated.
He shared the words from the girl's mother. In a statement she shared, in part, "I watched that video and was horrified by what I saw," later saying she, quote, "reported it directly to the owners and nothing happened, so I called the state. I did call the daycare and was told they have no comment, but they are sending my request to attorneys. Frisco police tell me no criminal charges have been filed."
However, That doesn't mean that these aren't serious.
In May, Button shared these videos with WFAA from the 2 other lawsuits that were filed.
We want to make sure that this daycare never has an opportunity to hurt another child in the future.
He says there may be more families that come forward, and that's the justice he seeks. In Dallas, I'm Richard Solomon.
Delisa Kelly's family is renewing their call to solve her murder now on what would have been her 37th birthday. The family is partnered with civil rights group Next Generation Action Network to urge detectives to work the cold case. Kelly disappeared 12 years ago while heading to a wake in Oak Cliff, and her family says they received a phone call from her screaming for help. Kelly was found dead in a vacant home a week later, and her murder remains unsolved to this day. Her son was only 2 years old at the time, and now that he's starting high school, what happened to his mom weighs on him every day.
I can tell that he has memories of his mother, and he misses her. And I know that's because he doesn't have a clear understanding as to why his mother is not here anymore.
The Dallas PD responded to today's press conference, telling us Kelly's case remains active. Detectives are using methods that weren't available when she was killed, and they're committed to pursuing every lead.
Tarrant County health officials have just confirmed the county's first case of the West Nile virus for the 2026 season. Health officials say the patient has the more severe neuroinvasive form of the virus, which can cause serious neurological symptoms. So far this season, 86 mosquito pools have tested positive. To reduce your risk of infection, health officials say the best steps to take include what we always hear: use insect repellent, wear long sleeves when you're outside, and get rid of any standing water near your home.
New tonight, Dallas Love Field just received a federal grant to improve families' experience at the airport, and it's worth $23 million. The FAA is funding the reconstruction, which will make it easier and safer for families with young children to board and exit on the bridge. It's part of a nationwide effort to improve accessibility and the overall travel experience. We'll update you as soon as they set a date to start construction.
An Oak Cliff business says enough is enough after being robbed 3 times. Now a church across the street is stepping up, turning concern into action to help protect the community. Hear their message for neighbors.
And get ready to experience the Dallas Zoo in a whole new way. We'll give you a look at the new expansion, including some up-close animal encounters in the works.
This place in Midland, built to help vulnerable women. A North Texas mother says it left her feeling like a prisoner. Tonight, The Village.